Morning, everyone.
Hello,
Hi.
guys.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
It's very hot.
You too.
Very hot? Who said very hot?
Oh, me.
Ah, where are you?
In Thailand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very hot.
Oh, so
Second day.
nice that you're joining from Thailand. Usually you are in
Morning.
Benidorm.
That's right.
Okay,
Oh
guys,
my
so a pleasure to see you once again. And I guess more people will be joining. For the newcomers, I see that Angelina is with us, and I don't know whether this is your first or second Friday talk, but in any case, welcome. We chatted yesterday, so hopefully today you will get to understand a little bit better. We've got also Marisol, and I don't know again, Marisol, if this is the first Friday talk with us or not. But
It is not Radmila. No.
no.
Good morning, everybody. No, it's not. So, but I couldn't attend. I've been attending for the last 3-4 weeks.
Okay.
Apart from last week that I couldn't make it. But
Perfect. So welcome back.
Thank you.
Back, and welcome to all of you guys. So I'm going to start with with something that we kind of started yesterday. So I'm going to explain the structure of this Friday talk so that you know where we are heading. At first, I would like to deepen into something that we started last week. I asked you about, I actually didn't word it quite right because I asked you about the difficulties that you had. You answered, your answers were brilliant, but now I'm going to deepen more into it, and I'm going to face the problem. We're going to face the problems that you have. Yeah. So not until we understand what exactly the problem is and how we can overcome it, then we're going to step into the second part, which is and the solution. Okay, so hopefully that will help you. I think a big deal to increase, to scale, and so on. So first the problem, and then how, which is the solution. This is what will happen. But I'm going to ask the question again. So what I asked last week was what difficulties you guys had. So you mentioned some of them. Now I'm going to openly ask about the problem or problems English teachers or teachers in general face nowadays. And I'm going to remind you two answers that were quite close to the essence of it. Actually, Jim's answer was, all right, I'm in a marketplace where there are 38,000 people. So how am I going to make myself visible? It's pretty much impossible. Yeah, he was close to the essence. Then Gergo identified more than a problem, the objective. So he said, getting students, right? But to me, this is not a problem. To me, this is the objective. So let's talk about the problem first. Now, you tell me, I'm going to ask you, and we're going to try to identify what the problem is so that we can figure out a solution. The solution is there, but we have to realize what problem we're solving. So, guys, what is your problem as language teacher? Autumn.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, a problem that I am facing recently now is still trying to convince people that online classes are still an option and are still just as good as in-person classes and are way more flexible. Because now people, I guess life is returning back to normal. I don't know what that means, but people prefer to have more in-person classes. And I'm just trying to convince people that just try the online class and you'll see that it's just the same. You even have way more flexibility and you have way more options. So it's just still trying to convince people that online classes are still just as effective as in-person classes. That's the issue that I'm having because everyone is like, well, can you come to my house? Can you do this? Can you do that? And it's like, I'm so used to being in my house and like, with my roommates and doing things, and I'm able to organize my day better than spending more time on public transportation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So let me break down here. What is the problem actually? Do they want in person or they want you in their house? What is what they want? Because it's different. So if they want you to go to their house and have a one-to-one class in their house, then it is a little bit weird, and we can say, yeah, but the result is the same with this option that you can try. If they want in person because of they're kind of fed up with all the lockdown and being isolated, and they need to go out and to hang with people, that's a different story. So we have to see exactly what happens there. So what exactly what they
Okay, so I think it's 50-50. Some of the people that have, requested classes, some of them don't want online classes because they are fed up with doing everything online, like their meetings and things. And then the other half of the people that have contacted me, it has nothing to do with online classes. They just want in-person classes. That's more or less like the type of people that I have been in contact with, or that have contacted me, I should say.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Okay, well, I don't know what to do, whether to, Georgina, do you want to say something and then we continue with Autumn, if your comment is regarding what she says?
Yeah, it's commented what she said, and my comment is people don't want to learn English because I mean what I see, they want you to go to your house and they want you to do what they want you to do, whether it is correct homework. Well, I'm talking about kids because that's the biggest request on going to people's house. In my case, has been with like kids, and I'm going to be honest. I helped this little girl with her exams or her test, whatever. On Monday, I had to write a poem. I had to write a poem and do her homework. And for me, those parents, they don't want their kids to learn English. So the way I do this, Autumn, the way I manage it, I keep it clear. Hey, I'm here and my method is for you to learn English. Punto. Like, this is really what I'm going to help you with. Learn English. And then I realized, people they want to go to your house, and that would be maybe the biggest obstacle. That means that I see, and I overcome it by saying, hey, I'm going to teach you how to learn English. I'm sorry, I don't do the rest. That's it. And then as Autumn was saying, yes, online, why? With the good flexibility, and has many more advantages than what people think, really. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what Georgina is saying, that she has a certain, her service has certain features, and she sticks to that, which is fine. So it reminds me of that person that was an expert in black fabric, and he would go and sell black fabric. So every time he was asked, but do you not have colors? Because he had a lot of samples with different, patterns and material, but it was all black. So he said, do you have pink? And then he would close the samples and he would go. I told you black, but we're here. We're talking about something different. So Autumn is experiencing that her prospects want in person. Now, let me remind you something that maybe it's about time to talk about it. So we had that pandemic that changed it all. It was really limiting in terms of channels, but it opened another possibility. So we got better in online, we improved a lot in online, and we perfected our offer online. But the channels can be reopened. So the channels of in-person can be reopened. When people want something and you remember that the tools and the channels and the infrastructure exists, then your decision can be different. Yes, directing them to online is, especially the open web classes, is by far the most beneficial one for you. I give you that. But for those people that want in-person classes and they want to, they don't mind going to a place, I remind you we have bars. And I remind you that it is also a very profitable option. Whenever there is the possibility of us grouping students, then we open a lot our benefits. So that exists. I am telling you this, Autumn, in case you want to consider it as well. So you remember that we are ready, we're prepared to offer everything. And maybe here is a moment that that we talk about the first of the concepts. I didn't want to rush it. I wanted to deepen a little bit more in the problem, but I'm going to give you just some heads up. The whole Oxinity page, the whole Oxinity environment, the whole philosophy of it is one of a big marketplace. Think about it that way, but not the marketplace that you may compare it with. So because we're referring to marketplaces as one of those that you go and you have a profile there. No, I'm talking about tell me what you want, or let the student decide what they want, and you then decide what you want to get, the hours that you want to keep, so to speak. So if you think about it, they go to Oxinity, directed, or they land in Oxinity because they follow your IDC, right? And they go there, and what they see is, okay, so you're telling me that I can do in-person classes, for instance, here in these cities, Barcelona, Madrid, Bilbao, Toledo, and any other that you might want to put a bar there, or a public place. So you're telling me that I can take in-person classes, and you're telling me that I can take online classes, and you're telling me that I can, or you're offering English in companies, and there are private tutors, and there is English for kids. So you're telling me all this, yeah? This is what you're telling me. So basically, the message is you can choose whatever you want. This is part one. Now, part two, what's in it for me? So in it, whatever you get, that is an hour for you. Whatever they choose, you get an hour. Whatever they choose, you get an hour. Why is that? Because out of all these wide possibility, they will find what they're looking for, and the chances that it's just with you and only with you may be small. But the whole marketplace is operates for you. So the business is for you. It's like you are owning it, which means that no matter what you choose, then you are going to get an hour, but an hour that you choose. So that means that your reach is much higher. This is the first thing that maybe you need to understand about this. So when you understand it, then you are going to not to be necessarily, not to, of course, you can push to online a little bit, but maybe you will remember and change your strategy there. But back to the problem, because it's too soon for this explanation now. What is the problem that you guys have? Who wants to give it a go? I tell you, James was quite close to it. Jordan or Georgina, go ahead.
What I want to say, sorry. I think
go
that
ahead,
we,
Georgina.
okay, go, Jordan, go.
Okay, mine's quick anyway. So I was just thinking, similar to what was said before, people have a preconceived notion of what language learning is, and they feel it has to be in person. So they already, like you say, Georgina, they want you to do what they want rather than actually learn the language. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fine. This might be a little obstacle, but this is not the problem. This is a little obstacle on the road. What is the problem? There is another one before that one. So you're telling me that let me put it that way. You are already talking to a client or to a prospect. What problem is there? You know, so that they don't want or they don't whatever. So fine, if we have a funnel and we can discuss about it later. Actually, it was part of what I was planning to do. But before that, before you even talk to that prospect, Olga.
Hi, Radmila. For me, in Spain, it's been a little bit language. Most people want to communicate in Spanish, and they write in Spanish, even if I write to them in English. And I feel that gap, especially if it's with kids and you're communicating with parents and so on. They prefer somebody who knows Spanish to teach them also, but it's just, I know that we have all these options, like I can pass the student on to someone else who speaks Spanish, but the problem is the communication becomes a bit too distant from the first moment because I'm not actually speaking their language.
This is not the problem, Olga. This is an obstacle again, and it has a fix. We're going to talk about it. What is the problem?
Could I say something?
Yes, of course.
A problem that I have seen a lot is the price. People assume that if you teach online classes, the price should be lower or in some cases extremely low. And I try to tell people I'm doing the same amount of work as I would do in-person classes. So, you know, like you're doing the same amount of work as you do in in-person classes. The only thing is that you're doing it online. And for some reason, people seem to think that online classes require less work, which is not the case. And so people should be paid accordingly.
Right. Again, this is this is something that it's not the problem. Well, this is a situation and it seriously affects you, but it has to do with what Gergo said last week. So getting students is hard, you know, so this is not it's not the problem. I would like to deepen a little bit more about it on it, but when we understand what the problem is, then all these things will find their solution. I'll give you just I give you a clue. I'll give you a clue because Gergo said it's difficult to get students, and fine, I get it, but if, for instance, if Gergo was in a desert island and I was to ask him, Gergo, what is the problem? And he told me, it's difficult for me to get students. I would say, listen, you were alone in a desert island. It's not difficult, it's impossible. There are no students. Right? So what does that tell you? Gergo.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Is it that I'm not doing the right thing to get the students? Is it what you want to
No.
say? Because I know that I'm not doing the right thing. I mean, like in my own case.
No, you are doing one of the people that are doing things right, I think.
Okay,
You know,
then maybe
so
that's the problem that I don't see it.
I think there is a problem that you guys don't see. Yeah.
Can I say
Okay,
something?
then can you tell us what is the problem? If
A little
I
bit
may be
late.
so forthcoming.
No, I think that in your case, you're trying to you last time you realized what has to change, and I think you're seeing it. I think you're seeing it, and I think that let's give Georgina a chance. Of course, I'm going to tell you. Of course, I will. But let's hear Georgina first.
Well,
Sure.
what I think is that we don't really know, we don't really realize the quality that is behind the Oxfinity method. And it's what Jim was saying last week, you know, let's not put the price first, but let's put the quality or the possibilities that our students have to learn a language with this method. And that's what we should put up front. And I think we really believe in the possibilities of the method. But what I
Not even that is the problem, because when we see what eventually the solution is, then what you're saying, because again you're seeing the solution and you're seeing what's behind all that we offer. Yeah, it's great that you're saying it, because then I understand why you're saying it. Before that, the problem, James, let's give it a go.
Okay, so I think the main problem is personally the competition and the academies, and this, especially in Spain, this obsession that the Spanish have with the academies, and we need to prove, it's getting the students to understand why we are the best solution and why they should give Oxfinity a go. I think that's one of the biggest problems. It's just the competition. There's lots of teachers out there, all offering us similar things, and we've got to stand out. We've got to prove that we are the solution to their problem. I think that's the.
Okay. How would you do that?
I think it's using highlighting the benefits of the Oxfinity system, why we are different, why we are the fact that we can give them what they want when they want it, what they need, and things like that. I think that's what we need to be looking at, and not worry so much about the price.
The price.
We can deal with the price. We've got salespeople out there who can hammer out the price with them. We need to get them to actually go and sign up. We need to get them as a lead. Once we've got them as a lead, then the process, we've got a very good network in place to get them to go from lead to take that trial class, and then we can show them what we can do. And then after they've had the trial class, then we can say, right, okay, well, this is how much it's going to cost. This is what you need, and things like that. But the main thing is to get them first to go to that sign up page and get them to put in their details. Because once you have them in the system, like you said, like was been said before, it might not be that week, it might not be that month, it could be 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line. We can, once we've got them as a contact, we can work on them, and then they'll go out and they'll maybe try other teachers, try other systems. But if we can prove how good we are, then they will come back to us.
Okay. So you're navigating so close to it that I feel tempted to tell you yes, 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 or this way or that way, but a little bit, yeah, in a minute, just in a minute. Let's hear Mari Carmen. So Mari Carmen, what is the problem?
I needed to say, I was dying to say before you actually mentioned the problem, that I think there is no problem, because under 3 conditions. 1, if you understand the business model and know how to handle it and deal with it. 2, if you understand the teaching system and apply it. And 3, believe in the community. I'm trying to find a problem, but I don't see it anymore. But these 3 elements are required. I just needed to say it.
No, that's great, because you are thinking from the point of view of the solution already. It's true. This is true. Gergo, had you raised your hand? or
yes.
that was from before?
No. It's like, well, from before, something that you mentioned last week is that what I see about my problem is that I'm still selling my own service, my own services, not our services. And in my case, this is what holds me back, I think.
Okay, so we're getting very close to it. That's it. I think that when we think of teachers, each one of them thinks of them. End of it. So when you think that you are alone, when you think that you're alone, then everything is a problem. Even the solution, even the price, for instance. The price is not a problem unless you're alone. The price is a consequence of offer and demand, supply and demand. It is what it is. So if you are alone, the price is a problem. Unless you don't really realize that, even what Olga said, if you are alone, what Olga said, the language barrier can be a problem. Autumn, if you are alone, if you want to do classes online, for instance, they want to do in-person classes, it is a problem. So it seems that everything, when you are alone, is a problem. I'm going to ask you something, and that's why I was telling you, if you, Gergo, said were in a desert island, and I were to ask you what is the main difficulty finding students, I would say, hey, this is impossible because you are in a desert island. So where you are matters. Where are you? And are you with someone or you are alone? Are you in a desert island? James said it last time. A marketplace. He went into a marketplace, 37, 38, I don't remember, 1,000 teachers there. So it's like being in a desert island, pretty much. No, it's worse because it's full of people, but all of them go alone. So there is no interconnection between them. And this person alone, I'll tell you, it gets even worse in a marketplace, at least, because then you say, yeah, but if I pay, I'm going to be spotted, and I have more chances to be spotted, because if I don't pay, chances that I'm seen are 1 in 37,000. What are the odds? That was James's reflection. So, okay. Conclusion, if I pay, I'm going to be in the first page. Fine, this is true. But then what happens is that when you are in the first page and you put the price that you want, you are not going to get any lead. Therefore, you have to lower the price. So it's even harder to realize that maybe you get it by now. So you pay so that you lower the price. So it's really weird. This is really weird. So that's not the place where you have to be, and the chances to be spotted in a marketplace like that, like the one that James are 0 point many zeros. And what then? At 1-2%? So it's not. I mean, this is absolutely impossible. And like from that perspective, everything is difficult. From the perspective, and I'm alone, then the price is an issue. The language barrier is a problem. Me not liking teaching kids is a problem, or not knowing how to teach kids, mentioned last time, or not you thinking that you're not so good at teaching kids, so everything is a problem that way. Yeah. So I don't know, but now if you understand that the problem is you being alone, that now let's see what you are doing since you are alone. What are the things that a person alone can do? And probably you know them all. A person alone can go to a marketplace and be in that situation, right? So this is, or before that, I would try, if I'm alone, I would try with my family, friends, and relatives. So once I remember Paf actually said once, but be careful because you know, once you use that on WhatsApp, for instance, with WhatsApp, you can use it again, but that's it. I mean, it also has a limited, you know, limited reach. We're not going to be telling our family, buy me, because it's bad business, right? We're not going to do that. We're not going to bother our friends. So what else we have? We have the marketplaces with this situation. If you are alone, if we are alone, third option, sticking posters. If we are alone, sticking posters, fine. Does it work? Very, very low revenue from it. And what is fourth? Can you think of fourth? Is there a fourth option for you? Ah, yeah, companies, approaching companies. But again, now imagine yourself going to a company and telling them what you would tell them. So I have the solution to your needs. And they would say, okay, so what are my needs? And you would tell them, whatever they are, I adapt. I adapt to your needs. So that they will say, fine, okay, but you're alone. Okay, so that being said, which is pretty much we don't have anything, okay, we're alone and we don't have anything. And yeah, the idea that a romantic idea is that, yeah, but I'm better than my whatever, the competitor. No, it's not. Everyone thinks, says and acts as they were the best, but they're alone. So it's not that. Now if we think that way, and now I go back to Mari Carmen. Yeah, but what if you are not alone? What if you're not alone? Then what problems are these? And what problems do we have? So realizing, I think that realization is the one that can change it all. I'm going to give you another example. I told you some weeks ago that one of the big players got 500 million euros of investment. Okay, so that is a provider of private classes, private tutoring. This is their business. And now I would ask you, why or what would you do if you had that money, $500,000 or euros? What would you do with it if you wanted to compete with that person or with that player? Where would you put that money?
Online.
Say?
Online.
Online. In what? In what
Well,
would you invest 500 million?
Well, that's a lot. But well, the first thing I do maybe is find someone to help me. That's the first thing I do maybe. That's the first investment.
Okay.
Bitcoin? How about Bitcoin?
The Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
No. Before Bitcoin is you need to find your team. You need to find people. Yeah, this is it. So that person with all these millions, yeah, probably will do great things, and actually they're doing them. But the first and foremost, the first thing that they would do is they will get a great team. They will get help. Great team. So these people need or will use these 500 million euros to get good team. I say we here have a great team that has exactly the same tools. If you don't think that you're alone, and if you don't act as you were alone. So if you think about it, yeah, they can be, of course, they will have a broader reach with the millions, of course. But if you now think that, okay, alone, it's really impossible. Even without the money, it's really impossible to do anything. Then when we work together as an infrastructure that we are, when we create that infrastructure, then things start becoming possible. And then obstacles are, or problems are just obstacles. Okay? So now, let me go back to, because here is one of the things is, right, how to sell easier, how to sell better. So what does it mean to sell when you are alone? Can we think out loud? Mari Carmen?
Well, actually, I raised my hand right before you asked that. I just wanted to make a small comment that even if I think the key word here to really understand is the word growth. Because even when you were mentioning before that if you're alone, you can, you know, post things and, I don't know, call your family and all that. Say it worked. I find it extremely difficult to have a perfect agenda on your own with all the spots filled. But let's dream for a minute and say it works for 20 hours a week, for example. I insist, I think it's almost magical and impossible. But if we think it could work, then what? That's it. Over and done with. Whereas with our system, we are feeding ourselves from it. So in other words, if you like the word growth, then it's infinite. So that's the big difference as well between being on your own and being in a community. Basically,
this is absolutely true. I definitely see it that way, because and you are even very generous, because you are assuming that all these things are going to work up to a certain extent, and that person is going to get the hours that they need. And then what? But even before that, there are difficulties that if we think about it, we mentioned volume, James's thesis, right? That of competing in a place where everyone is a competitor, and when you concentrate a lot of people in the same place, what happens is that prices go down. There is so much competition that prices go down. But when you are competing alone, or when you're alone, when you go alone, there is half of the market is going to be not for you, for one thing only, gender. And I'm not saying here how unfair it is, or it is, but just because of that, some of you, half of you, are going to have limitations. Half of you, because people would prefer something that you are not, and you can never become. End of it. Not to mention, there are many more variables here, such as location. Autumn just worded it. She voiced it. So she said, in-person classes for me right now, I'm going to think a big deal about it before I say yes to in-person, because I want online. So for her, this is a problem. If, again, Autumn, it is a problem if you think that you're alone. Only in that context, it is a problem. So if you don't think of yourself as a solo player, then you are not going to see that as a problem. You are going to look for the solution within the organization. Okay, what if you live, for instance, you live in Madrid? What if your client lives in Barcelona? What if they live in Mexico? They're not for you upfront, unless they go to online, of course. You know, what if they need 4 people at the same time, because it's a company now that we're talking about? Again, it cannot be you. Alone, it cannot not be you. What if you are not so confident teaching kids? Again, it cannot be you. You know, so there are many situations in which it cannot be you. Until we don't realize that this matters, where we are, and if we only count on who we are, we're not going to get it. Then we're going to change our stance completely. You know, and when you change and when you realize that now there is an alternative, and that by using that alternative, I get to the 100% of it every time I direct a student, a prospect to this, how do I call it, environment, to Oxinity. What I'm doing is I'm securing the 100%. Then you will start changing the little things in your pitch, in your strategy. And we will see now the strategy. The strategy is super simple to get it, on how to get it, but you're going to start changing things. So yes, you are going to be in probably in the marketplace, but with a different view, with a different, you know, with a different vision. So imagine now you could sell 100% all the time, or 100% of any time in the world. That is what it means not to go alone. Because when you get a client to choose what they want, you get the hours that you can exchange, the hours that you really want to do, and you get always 100% of it. So people that would say, yeah, but I told them it would be just me, and I said I would do the class. You guys are, you know, I don't know, you are putting a lot of burden to yourself all the time, that you're just relying on you and saying that it only has to be you, and there is a lot of burden there. And it's extremely difficult to go that way. I mean, having what we have, having what we've created here, to still think that you're alone is, you know, to cutting 99% of the whole market just with that decision, or just with that mindset. So again, to understand it, it's like, for instance, having a marketplace, say Preply, and saying, this is all mine. And I'm going to, no matter who they choose, I'm going to get all the hours that I want. It's this. Oxinity is this, offers you this. I don't know whether, Mari Carmen, was that from before that you raised your hand?
No, it was from now, actually, to point out that experiencing what you say is the best way to find out. And I want to give a very clear example. The last 4 clients I got them thanks to the community. And Gergo knows it, Viva knows it. Once you experience that, you understand the rest. You understand, you experience what happens, what derives out of that. And you do realize how you can grow. And I'm very grateful to the community in general, and particularly to Gergo and Viva, because if it was not for these 2 members of the community, I would have lost 4 clients. So I think that's important to understand.
Perfect. And I thank them as well, and you too. So when you realize that alone chances are 0. many zeros, 2% versus 100% chances here, then you are going to start growing. In this moment, you're going to start growing. That's why Georgina's answers are different. Mari Carmen's answers are different. You know, that's why I think this is the reason. And that's why Gergo has already realized that he is capable of doing anything. Matter of time, of course, as everything, but he'll get it. I'm absolutely certain. And so will Jim. And many of you, you know, so many of you. As for the specific question of, okay, so how am I going to do that? Very quickly, I'm going to remind you of these 3 ways there, because I think that once you realize what the problem is and that you have the solution at hand, then how to go about it. So the first strategy is promotion. The first strategy of promotion is what we've been, those who were in the blog webinar. I'm not going to repeat the blog webinar by no means, but just stress 3 things. The value strategy is much better than the sales strategy. So value is what we offer. Now, when I was saying, what would you do if you were alone? I mentioned 3 contexts or 4, and there is a 5th one, you going to an academy. So when you go to an academy, I want you to imagine the following situation. You say, I'm going to go to an academy because I'm not good at sales. Yeah, that's a classic. I love it. So since I'm not good at sales, I'm going to an academy. And you go there and you find that the one that sells is not any better than you. It can even be worse. Why? Because the person that is there in charge of sales is probably someone that has grown. Previously a teacher, now a school owner. So what is the capacity of that person? Is it any better than yours? And the answer is no, it's not. The only thing that they have, you would say, is, but they have the place. A place is just overheads. You can have a place as well. Anyone can have a place and not paying for it. It's called coffee shop, cafeteria, cafe, bar, you know, and you don't even have to worry whether you have to expensive overheads and rent and whatever there is to be paid. So when you realize that it's not that, and it's not that you are good or bad or worse or whatever, and that you have a lot that to use and exploit, it's when you will start growing as well. You know, so the first barrier that you have and a real problem is not realizing that alone you can't make it. And the second barrier is that you repeat very often to yourself, I'm not good at sales. Neither am I. So I have to remind you here what you are. You are teachers. Together, as a team, we can have the same reach as the big players. As a team, we can have exactly or better, because the one thing that the big players would fear is a lot of small players with the tools that they have. This is a competition and not an easy one to beat. While you're alone, you're an easy target. If not, it starts being really difficult, right? So before I remind you of how you can achieve that, just a question for Jim. So Jim, can I ask you if do you understand how to get 100% of the opportunities?
Yes, yeah. Yeah,
Yes?
I mean, yes, I do, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The 100% of the opportunities to sell as opposed to marketplaces where chances are 0.00002. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Use the system.
Okay.
We have a great
Okay.
system and just use it. I mean, it's like you said, you can't think of yourself as an individual. It's like in the name of the community, I am Oxfinity. That sums it up in 3 words. We are one. And it doesn't matter what time the student wants a lesson, you can do it. So if you understand that, and understand, because I have very limited time of when I can actually teach. But so I like to look at other ways to but obviously I need the money. So, and I would love to, I mean, I love teaching, and yes, if I was a robot, I could teach 24/7, and I would do, but I can't because I have other commitments. So
exactly.
But I need to make sure that yeah.
Sorry.
And I live in a small town, so there's students here, but a lot of people here, first of all, we'll beat the academies, and I've got a plan for that. I'm working on it. There's one academy I want to steal all their students, but for personal reasons. But I need to be able to offer clients, customers, or classes in Madrid, in Barcelona, in Malaga, in the bigger cities, because I live in a smaller town where we have a very limited sort of base, and in my town they are all, I mean, online just does not work in our town. I've tried it, so it has to be face to face.
If you want to steal someone's students, go into the coffee shop next to them.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm working on it at the moment. But unfortunately, the guy who owns the coffee shop, he is having some problems with his internet. So he says once it's sorted out, then I can he's going to give me a desk. He's going to give me a corner. He's going to give me a free drink for any students to come in. He's going to give tapas on the tables, everything. So, and it's literally right next door to the academy.
Okay, so you don't exactly, they will come to you. You won't have to steal anything. They will come alone. So once you get the client, remember guys, you exchange for the hour that suits you. This is it. If we remember that, this is it. And once this guy fixes the internet, you have already won. You have already won. You will get it. And the academy has to fear. They still don't know, but you do. Right. So back to the how to do that. Mari Carmen, sorry, you've raised your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out something since you mentioned academies. I think that academies are what they are, and they're competitors with other academies, and they have to do their protocol from A to Z. They're competitors, that's what there is there. Marketplaces are places that we know at the end of the day they're ripping us off because you have to pay that percentage. So the big difference between the academies, the marketplaces, and us, I believe that is each of us is an academy. And the big difference is that they're linked. So we're not competing, yet we're linked. And that's, I believe, the big power that we've got, and we have to differentiate between academies, marketplaces, and us.
And I couldn't have summarized it better. Yeah, with the only maybe addition that you get 100% of the chances to sell. That's it. I would just add that. Once you direct people to Oxinity, then you get 100% of the chances. Georgina, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the perfect moment, but maybe there's two things here that we're talking about. On the one hand is what we can offer as a group, and on the other hand is what we can obtain by being part of Oxinity. I don't know, for me it's very clear, but I don't know. Anyhow, I would just like to say that I have prepared a few blog posts. I just published them in Spanish and I will publish them in English with all these. There's up to 14 points that I mentioned to my future prospects. And yes, Gergo is right. I mean, finding a good source of leads might be the challenging part, but then how to actually talk to them and sort of explain the offer that you have. That is, why is it not an academy? Why is it not a private teacher? Well, I have written these blog posts to share with everybody because that's the quality that is behind, and it's everything that I say, and it's really, resourceful, and it really helps me, and it's possible. So there it is for everybody, and I will be publishing it well, maybe later on the weekend in English. With all these, different things we can talk about. I never put the price first, for example. I never put myself first, for example. At one point, I say, hey, I've got all of this. You can't expect me to do all of this alone, can't you? Oh, I work with the community, blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of things that we can say of why our offer is different. How is it different? Why is it better? So I will share that with everybody. And
Thank
I
you,
hope it helps
Georgina.
everybody. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. And this is fantastic because when quality matters. Now we're going to now that we understand that in Oxinity clients have everything that they need so that they don't say no. Quality matters, and you can proudly say that quality is the one that all of you ensure. It's true. So again, when a lead, and this is another concept that I'm going to insist on you understanding very, very much, is when you are sending a lead to Oxinity, you have the certainty they're going to find what they need up to the 100%. Another thing is, and here is, I want to make it very clear, that will they convert or not depends also on the context of the prospect. And we know that 25% will convert, which is 25 times more than what you can get in any other context alone, in a marketplace alone or whatever. But 75%, you may think, yeah, but 75% won't convert. Hold on, not yet, not today, but 75% of the people have already learned about you. And now is the second strategy, and we're going to insist on that next week as well. 75% of these people are going to be able to hear from you every now and then. And believe it or not, follow-up makes the whole difference, because follow-up, and again, Georgina said, I'm going to share a blog. The blogs are there, and everything that you need for the follow-up is in the blog, actually, again, ready for you to do. So the first concept is my lead will find, this is the certainty that I want to transmit here. My lead, any lead, will find everything that they need according to their needs. So the chances that they find what they need are 100%. Perfect. This is point number one. With that certainty in mind, you have to know some of them will convert, some of them won't. With the ones that convert, we happily continue our relationship together, and I get an hour at my convenience. When with the rest, I do follow up. And the follow-up here is where you have to remember your teachers, and your strategy has to be one of teachers. And teachers give value. One big difference, and here is where we are unique, one big difference is that the guy with the 500 million is going to need a lot of salespeople, and you are not that. You are not salespeople, which acts in your advantage. Why? Because who would a person trust in the first place? A teacher. So they don't have that capacity. They will have to have salespeople. And yeah, guys, salespeople, we know that they're just salespeople. You are experts. You talk like teachers. You sound like teachers. You are teachers. You understand. You do things differently, and it's how it has to be. This is your value. So with the value content that you create, all you have to do is these leads, just tell them that you are that and that you bring value. So the value strategy, following up with a value strategy, is much more effective than any sales strategy that you can come up with. So this one is the lesson, so to speak, for today. Josie, you've got a question or a comment?
A bit of both. First, I just wanted to say thank you. I caught up with the last week's yesterday, and I feel like the whole model has just completely clicked into place for me. Like something's definitely switched in my brain this week to fully understand it. And my point, just quickly before we finish, I guess you kind of just touched upon it then, but my biggest problem at the moment is trying to convince potential students that working with other teachers is good. Like they seem just really keen to work with me, which is obviously lovely. I would love to get some tips maybe from people who have been more successful on what kinds of things can I say to convince them that having, you know, all the flexibility, this big pool of like experienced teachers is a positive thing.
Yeah. Well, Georgina, what do you think? Because I'm pointing out at her because she has a pitch and she talks to clients a lot.
Well, I would just say, please wait till I publish the post tomorrow because it's very long. There's many things you can say, but the first thing I talk about is natural learning approach. That's really nice. The second thing I talk about was only conversation. The first thing I do, by the way, is what Maria Carmen said, like, who are you? What do you need? The class is for you, for your children. Have you spoken English? What is it for? And they give you a lot of clues to then give them the solution, really. And actually, I was just looking for this little picture, whatever. It says, the best salespeople think like clients, not like salespeople. And this stuck to my mind. It's what Ramila was saying, you know, the best person who's going to talk about learning needs is a teacher. So anyway, my speech starts with natural learning approach, and then it goes through only conversation. Well, and it's on the post. I wrote it like in all the steps following. At one point, I say I am not alone because I talk about big data. I talk about conversation. I talk about flexible timetable. I talk a lot of big offer, and then you give the big bombs. Hey, I don't work alone. It's multiple teachers. And then why they're there, and I say, multiple teachers, not anywhere will you be able to speak with different interlocutors, such as, you know, Patty, who's from Ireland, or Autumn, who's from the States. I say these things, that will never happen, neither in an academy or as a private teacher. And then I just said a lot of things that we have actually discussed together, and that things that you have said to me, and well, they're just all there. And at the end, people are like, okay, how much is this going to cost me? That comes at the very end. And really, they're all, you know, I think, out of 23, 18 have taken the trial. Okay, some of them were then disappointed because it's not what they imagined. Okay, it's fine. But that would be the way to go. And as Jim was saying, we need to get them on the trial class. Yes. And from the moment that they're interested, between that and the trial class, there's a step where I think we should try to come in as teachers, because this is something we spoke a long time ago. You know, if they want a teacher, they don't expect a link. They don't want a link. And although I adore Maria, they don't want a Maria, okay? They want a teacher. And we should master we should be mastering the teaching system. And well, just for us, answering what I said before, teaching system is so closely linked to business model. They're so linked together, and we should realize that. And just to finish up what we were saying before about the business model, God, you share 7, you get 14. You get 200% of this business model. So in terms of what we can obtain, we have what the clients can obtain from Oxinity and what teachers can obtain, 200%. Okay, 180, 10% goes to the platform. So it's amazing. So Josie, I don't know if I answered your question.
That's super helpful. No, that's perfect. Yeah, I think I'm gonna actually try and put together not like a sales pitch as such, but something that, you know, I can refer to in these moments when I'm like, because yeah, like it's the free trial thing. They're like, am I gonna have my free trial with you? Am I gonna have my free trial with you? And it's, you know,
but then,
as Maria told me, like, what if I'm on holiday and I can't do free trials? Like, how do we get those people into the system as well? So yeah,
I mean, that's the advantage that I have, maybe that you don't. I always say I don't give classes to my students because they know I speak Spanish and they know that I understand. They will not make an effort. So but you got to find your way. But the thing is,
Yeah.
the more you talk to people, the more you will master it. I mean, I remember at first call, I was so nervous and I thought they wouldn't take me seriously. And, that was all that little tiny weeny Georgina and her little, apartment in Barcelona, whatever. But the more sometimes I listen to myself, I'm like, God, Georgina, how can you say all these things? Because I'm very, very sure, but because I trust the model, I trust the system, I trust the team. I know Maria's there, I know Ramila's there, I know you guys are there, I know we have amazing teachers. So it's all a question of feeling secure and trying and just do it. Sometimes I think about it, God, just do it. And yeah, you're gonna maybe the first few tries are gonna be a failure or whatever, but at least we're trying. And yeah, the blog posts I wrote, they're up there in Spanish. You can automatically translate them in English, but I'll be posting them as soon as possible in English as well. And those are all the, let's say, weapons, if I could say that, or tools that I use and to my convenience and regarding what the clients say. And it's everything I've learned, actually. It's everything that I've put together, everything that you guys been saying for the past year or so.
Thanks, Georgina.
Georgina, thank you very much. It comes to my mind something that it happened some weeks ago. Maria will help me here, but I remember a company that was Maria was explaining about the different teachers, and they said, no, we want the same teacher, but we want that teacher to be able. What was it? Something like the teacher to teach us different accents. And Maria was thinking, yes, I'm going to tell the teacher to talk to you with British accent now and then with American accent now. So it's ridiculous, and you don't want to, you need different teachers, but you don't want different teachers. How is that? So it's sometimes, remember this, it's funny, it's a funny fact, but people don't realize that sometimes they don't even know what they're missing. So yeah, when talking like a teacher, an expert, you can show them a lot of opportunities that in scenarios they haven't even thought of. And no matter how much we like something, I'm going to put it that way. I love chocolate, but don't make me eat chocolate every day because I will end up hating it. So there is an explanation for everything, but the thing that it will come natural, and Georgina just said it, if you believe in what you're explaining, it will come natural. So what has to stick with you guys after this session is that here, your leads, the leads that you are directing to the platform, have everything that they need so that they don't say no. This is it. And with this certainty, it's much easier. When you know that you have everything, it's much easier. And Georgina speaks with certainty, and that she's so motivated, she's not so secure because let me tell you, her conversion rate is of 27%. 27% conversion rate, and she's continually communicating value. Blog posts and whatever she creates, there is value in it. Value that she's not selling, she's not a salesperson, she provides value, the best strategy, and she uses it with follow-up, and she communicates in social media, wherever she communicates. She's a teacher, she communicates value. So when you realize, when you put these two things together, you only have to put these two things together, that you are not alone, that you have all these great tools, and that you communicate value, and then you are better than the guy with the 500 millions. This is my true conviction, and it has to be yours. Alone, forget about it. Okay, guys, well, time to go. I really thank you, everyone. Josie, we'll be working together. Don't worry. So all these things we're going to perfect, and with the rest of you guys. But Well, thank you for everything now, and those who want to approach us, Maria and I here are here for you. And this is it. Thank you guys, and have a great weekend.